So what do grad programs look for in students, and how do they determine whether or not which students should be admitted or not? So first and foremost, obviously, it's going to be the grade criteria. We want to make sure that you are a high-performing student. But beyond that, the rest of it really comes on. It really depends upon your personality and what experiences you have. We want to make sure that you can fit in with the rest of our faculty and our students. Obviously, from university to university or from program to program, there's going to be a pre-existing culture, and we want to make sure that you'll be able to fit in so that you're not causing chaos in our department. And also want to make sure you're enjoying yourself. We want to make sure that the students that we have in our program is able to well immerse themselves in the opportunities and networks and events that we host. We want to make sure that you'll be able to get squeeze all the advantage out of it for yourself, and that you'll enjoy your time here in the next 2 to 6 years, depending on what kind of grad program you're entering. The second thing that we want to look at is how what is your confidence level? And of course, we're not hoping every person to be as confident as, for example, Harvey Specter in Suits, where he's a super alpha male and he thinks he is God, essentially. But of course, we do want our students to hold in some sort of confidence level, and this comes in the form of, first of all, are you able to hold a conversation with other people? Are you able to stand your ground on your argument and what you truly believe in, and you're able to hold and give a solid good analysis on why you think that? And also lastly, we want to make sure that our students, at least in my program, we want to make sure that our students is appreciative of the arguments on both ends. We in my program in particular, we dislike students who are quite stubborn on one end of the spectrum. We want them to really appreciate that there are going to be varying perspectives, and that you will be working with people with opposite perspectives from you, and we need to make sure that our students who are admitting take that into consideration, and is well respecting people with varying degrees of perspectives, and that you don't think poorly of someone else because they might have an opposing view of you. In my particular program, which is for a particular niche or field, we often run into the situation of opposing views, or you really need to market or pitch an idea for it to succeed in our field. So that's in particular why we look for these personality traits when it comes to admitting students. And then finally, we want to make sure that your interests are well aligned with our program's vision and mission. So for example, if my program is quite technology based, but it is not in the field of blockchain, for example, and where I was talking to a potential student who really wanted to come into my program for particular reasons because of prestige and branding in the field. Yes, I totally agree on those aspects, but her research area was on blockchain, and my program does nothing with blockchain. So obviously, the student would have been a mismatch. So we want to make sure that your interests are well aligned with our program's interests, and again, we want to make sure that the students that we're admitting will get value on both ends, that we are providing you with the knowledge and networks that you need to succeed, but that you're also going to be enjoying your time here, and that you'll be also be able to kind of promote our program once you go into the field. And if you are coming in with a mismatched interest area already, then I can already imagine that in 2 years' time, you're going to think this program did nothing for you career-wise, and you might badmouth our program. So we want to make sure that in 2 years' time that you're going to be happy with our program. You thought that it helped you, move your career along, and that you'll help us promote our program in the end. So that's also another thing that we look at, right? So if our program's mission and vision is to help expand a research area in 5 years' time, and a particular student is already interested in that particular research area, then of course we will admit that kind of student because it will help move our program forward. But if we already think from that, we already have our mission and vision plan for the next 5 years, and the student is coming in with a mismatched interest area, then you might be declined. Even if you are a great student, you have stellar extracurriculars, you have stellar grades, if your interest area is mismatched, then you will likely be declined. So that's what grad programs look for. We want to make sure your personality fits, you're well motivated, you'll help promote the program in the end, and also that your interests are well aligned with ours. These are a few of the things that we look at, and obviously during the interview process, there's a lot more details within each of those buckets, but at a high level, that's what grad programs look like in determining which applicants to admit and which ones to decline.